This was the worst time to be in the marketplace. The evening crowd was out and they were hungry. The only reason she was here was because Ambassador Needy Kane, special envoy from Earth, had insisted. It will be a unique experience, he had said. Instead of food trucks like on Earth, the shops have storefronts. You can sample their offerings and buy, or go inside for a sit-down meal. I wouldn't miss it for the world. Heenal, being the ever-dutiful diplomatic escort, basically caved to the request. She was too tired to argue, too tired of reminding him of the important conference in the morning. Needy had arrived at the space station Ambiexata on the afternoon shuttle. After several hours of fussing over his quarters, he decided he wanted to explore the shops on the promenade rather than prepare for the conference. The primary agenda for the conference was whether or not to admit Nader to the Union. The Nader, a snake-like species, was opposed because they distrusted the Kuda, who had built the station. But recent changes in the balance of power made Nader an attractive addition to the Union. The real agenda was convincing the Nader that joining would benefit them. The station was positioned on the border of several alien territories and served as the center of government for the Union of Civilized Species. It was built by the Kuda during the Kuda Impasse, a Cold War that nearly escalated to a massive conflict. A Kudanese shop caught Needy's attention, and he stopped for the free sample. Heenal had no interest, so she moved on to one featuring Assyrian cuisine. Needy frowned slightly as he sampled a bite-sized piece of matcha va. "It is not to your liking?" the shop vendor asked. "It is not very crispy on the outside," Needy said, wrinkling his nose. "There are not enough black kavas in the batter, and it's rather bland." "You have a discriminating palate, my friend." Needy caught himself staring at the young woman's neck, then hastily turned his attention elsewhere. She touched the scar gently. "I see you've noticed my scar. My sincere apologies, I didn't mean to be rude." "No apology necessary," she said, bowing her head. "An unfortunate incident with a deep fryer. You may call me Amand, I am the owner of this humble shop." "Pleased to meet you, Amand. I am Special Envoy Needy Kane from Earth." "The pleasure is mine, honored ambassador." Amand gestured to the food on display. "These are but simple dishes for the undiscerning. If you wish to explore my shop, I may have something more to your liking." "I would be delighted." Needy followed Amand inside. Heenal put the last bite of Zypan into her mouth and glanced around for Needy. She nearly choked, he was nowhere in sight. Hastily swallowing and tossing her trash, she hurried over to the Kudanese shop where she recalled last seeing him. "Excuse me," she said to the vendor. "Have you seen a short, frumpy, dark-haired human? I know he stopped here." The young person shrugged her shoulders and shook her head. Okay, thanks," Heenal said. She frantically circled the area, fighting the crowds, looking for Needy. She peeked into at least a dozen shops hoping to find him. This was no way to end her career. Losing a diplomat was a very bad thing. Heenal found the constabulary in her desperate search and tripped over the doorstep as she rushed in. Constable Sakam Ramden glanced up and returned her gaze to some papers on her desk. "May I help you?" she asked in a bored, disinterested tone. "Yes," Heenal said, gasping for breath. "I have lost Ambassador Kane. The embassy would have jurisdiction in this matter. It is 4 blocks east. I can provide you with directions, if you wish." "Please," Heenal begged. "This is very urgent." Sakam looked up from her paperwork. Her eyes softened a bit as she saw the desperation in Heenal's eyes. "Tell me what happened," Sakam said. "Well," Heenal started, licking her lips. "He insisted on going to the marketplace, even though he had to prepare for the conference tomorrow. He said this one would be a unique experience. He has a liking for Kudanese food, but I only like Assyrian, so naturally we split up. But I was careful to stay close. When I turned around, he was gone." "Well, MS? Sorry. Extrix. Heenal Extrix. I'm a diplomatic escort. This is my last assignment. I'm retiring." That's wonderful, Sakam said, trying to put more enthusiasm into her response than she felt. It must be very frustrating to have lost track of Ambassador Kane. Ambassador Kane. But this is a very busy time for the marketplace. People are out shopping for their evening meal. You'd be surprised how many people come in here because they lost someone in the crowd. But he is expected at a very important conference tomorrow. I understand your concern. My guess is he wandered off and will show up at the embassy later this evening. If you like, I can alert our street officers to keep an eye out for him. Heenal's face fell. I'm sorry, but that's the best we can do. This does not appear to be suspicious, and we are backlogged with dozens of serious cases. Heenal filled in that are more important in her mind, knowing that's what Sakam was really saying. Thank you. Here's my card. Please call if you hear anything. Heenal left the station and stood dejectedly on the sidewalk for several minutes. She had to call Swa sooner or later. Taking a deep breath, she pulled out her phone and dialed. Sando, a curt male voice responded. Swa, it's Heenal. Hi, Heenal. How is it going? Well, she started, gulping. What happened? He wanted to go to the marketplace, and now I can't find him. You lost the ambassador? Yes. I looked everywhere. I stopped at the constabulary for assistance, but they weren't much help. You talked to a constable? It came out as a simple question, but inside Swa felt panic. Yes, but they weren't very interested in helping. Okay, here's what you do. I know a private I named Faison. She's very good. I'll text you her address. Go and talk to her. Thanks, Swa. I really appreciate it. Heenal arrived at the office of Faison, P.I. A nondescript office sandwiched among a long line of offices. The glass door had the name in bold, black lettering. She opened the door to the sound of a bell attached to the door frame. A young woman sat behind a desk at the back of the small office. She looked up at the sound of the bell. Heenal stopped and stared, noticing the woman's neck. The woman touched her scar gently. I see you've noticed my scar. I am so sorry. No apology necessary, she said, bowing her head. An unfortunate incident with some hydrochloric acid. You may call me Faison, I am the owner of this humble agency. How may I help you? I was recommended to you by my boss, Swa Sando. Ah, yes. Of the diplomatic corps. A very good friend. Please, tell me your story. My name is Heenal Extrix, and I'm a diplomatic escort. My current assignment is Ambassador Needy Kane from Earth. We were at the marketplace and I seem to have lost track of him. Yes, that does happen at the marketplace. I looked everywhere for him and couldn't find him. I stopped at the police station and they couldn't help me. No, that is true. They are far too busy with serious crime to be bothered. That is why I am here, and why Mr. Sando sent you to me. Rest assured, I will find Ambassador Kane. Thank you so much. What do I owe you? Do not concern yourself with that. Mr. Sando and I have an arrangement. Thank you. Here is my card. Please contact me as soon as you find out anything. I will do that. Heenal was feeling better after leaving the private eye's office, and decided to stop for a late dinner at a nearby Assyrian diner. She had just taken her first bite of bacha and cheho when her phone rang. Hello? May I speak to Heenal Extrix, please? Speaking. Yes, I'm Detective Tunlay Payhad with the Diplomatic Police Corps. I'm calling to inform you that Swa Sando has been arrested on charges of first-degree kidnapping and attempted murder. Oh my God. He has pled to lesser charges in exchange for critical testimony. He has disclosed the whereabouts of Ambassador Needy Kane. We have dispatched officers to that location. We'd appreciate it if you could meet us here within the hour. I'll be there. The Diplomatic Police Corps office was practically empty when Heenal arrived. One secretary seated behind a desk in the anteroom. Heenal sat and fidgeted. After an interminable wait, several people entered, including a very haggard-looking Needy Kane. Among the group was the private detective she had spoken to, handcuffed. Heenel jumped from her seat with joy and ran over to Needy, surprising him with a hug. A stern-looking officer approached her. "Ms. Extrix?" "Yes. I'm Detective Tunley Peyton. We spoke on the phone." "Yes. We found the ambassador in the nick of time." "That's great. But this woman," she pointed to the handcuffed woman, "I thought she was a private detective?" "Fison, I think her name is?" "Her name is Amand," Needy said. "The vendor at the Kudanese shop." "Actually," Peyton said, "she's part of Sando's espionage ring." "I am very grateful," Heenel said, "that you found him in time. At least I can retire without that hanging over my head."